Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for subscribing and for tuning in. Now let's get started with this beautiful wrap bracelet. Okay, so here are a couple of the things that you are going to need. First of all, you're going to need a 20 gauge wire. Okay, if you don't have 20, you can use 22. You can go as high as you want to, as low as you want to. The measurement of the gauge of the wire is really up to you and what you have. And you don't have to use artistic wire. You can use any wire that you have. I have these that I bought from Walmart. You can use this as well. Whatever you have on hand that works for you, you can do it. But I had these left over and I'm hoping these are going to be enough for me to finish this bracelet, hopefully. If not, then we'll just improvise and use another different wire, but you can always use the wire that you have on hand. Okay, so you're going to need a 20 gauge wire and an 18 gauge wire, or you can, again, just use whatever you want. You're going to need either a pen or a Sharpie, something that has a round cylinder form. That way we can use it. Your beads, like we showed before. You're going to need some tools. I have my cutters, my round nose pliers, my flat nose pliers, and this one's a flat one, but it has some type of rubber material here that helps me when the wire is bent, or if I want to straighten it, I can use it and it doesn't damage the wire itself, okay? Because this is it's soft. It's like an acrylic. Some of them are plastic. This one's like a rubbery one, but you can use whatever you want, and these are just to straighten the actual wires. You can warm them up with your hand, or you can use this to straighten them out. So these will be practically what we will be using. So let me get all this out of the way and let's begin with the wires. Okay, so I have, this is my 20 gauge and this is my 18 gauge. The 18 gauge is the one I'm going to use for my sizing my bracelet. So if I'm a 7 or a 7.5, then that's what you're gonna do. But give yourself some space at the end, because we're going to be wrapping the ends, the closures of it. We're going to be creating them and then wrapping them. Okay, so if you're a 7 and then you got to give yourself 2-3 more inches on this, then do that. Okay, I'm going to definitely, for right now, just leave it in the little reel. And you see how this has that kink, that bend right there? If I grab my plier right here, I can just go through it like that and it straightens it out. That's all this does. And that's all I want it for, okay? Because I may have I just had an injury on my right hand, and I want to make sure, oh, this moves everywhere. I want to make sure that I have it, that I'm not using too much force with my hand. So I'm going to straighten this out as well. Okay, you do that as best as you can. Okay, and then now what I'm going to do is, since I'm creating a loop with this right here, I'm going to create a small bend here so I can take my flat nose pliers. Oh my goodness, I have a mess here. My flat nose pliers, and remember, I'm not only going to bend this to create a loop for my closure, but I'm going to wrap it, so I need extra wire there. So I think maybe, I don't know, 2 inches or so, and I'm going to bend it a little bit because I want my circle to go right here. Okay, so I'm bending this just like that. I hope you can see that. It's just bent. And then I'm going to grab my pen from the opposite direction. Okay, and then I'm going to bend this way, just like that. And I hope you guys can see me. Let me see if I'm on focus here. Yes. Okay. You're going to bend it just like that, okay? And there's my circle. If I grab a Sharpie, this circle is going to be bigger. So again, depending on the thickness of your wire, that's what you want to do. Okay, so I have this, so let me pull this just like that to make sure that circle is good and it's how I want it. Okay, and then this part right here is what you're going to wrap. Okay, so we went from the bottom and we're going to wrap it. You're going to go around. Let me see if I can make this as straight as possible. There we go. You're going to pull really tight because this is going to be a little bit hard. And if you can't do it, remember, grab your pliers and just pull on your wire. Okay, so this crossing right here needs to be as tight as possible. And that's what we're going to do. And I think I work better without the pen in the way. But usually that helps me but I just hold it right there, and I'm bending and bending, going around, just wrapping that, okay? Wrap it as best as you can. I usually do 3 times, okay, because I think it's the prettiest. There we go. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And then this can get cattywampus. It doesn't matter because you're going to put this back in here and you're going to create that circle again. So see how that doesn't really matter? You just go in there and just fix your circle as best as you can. Okay, so that's pretty good for me. Now I want to push this up because I want it to be as close to this closure as possible. So let me see how I can do that. There we go. See, I want them all together as best as I can. And again, this here doesn't really bother me because I'm just going to fix it. You can go in. You can leave it there. You can make it tighter here. You know, it's really up to you how you want to do it, okay? But that's just going to be my closure there. So I'm done with this part, so I'm going to cut my wire. Let me get my wire cutters and just cut that. And then don't forget, you have to tuck your little tail in with your flat nose pliers. And why you do that? Because you don't want nobody or nothing pinching that. So you just grab it and just pinch it in there to where it's not going to be, you know, bothering you or anything like that. Okay, straighten it out as best as you can. That looks pretty good. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is, now that I have it there, I am going to cut my wire on the other end because I have to put my beads in there, okay? Okay, so I have cut my wire. I have finished my loop right here. Excuse me. I've tightened everything in. I put my pin back in there just to make sure that we have that right. I've straightened my wire and I gave myself a long, this is probably maybe 13, 14 inches, definitely long. I want extra to play with. I don't want to have no hiccups at the end and thinking that I'm not going to have enough. Okay, and then now you're going to grab your beads. Excuse me. And I can't remember which one we said, but we're just going to do this. But in the meantime, start putting your beads in your wire. Okay, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I just put my beads in here and I just realized these are not going to be enough beads for me to go around my wrist. Let me show you. So if I put this right here and I bend this, I still have all this that I need to fill up. So that tells me I have to go back to the other strand of beads that I have, and I'm just going to put them in here, okay? I think that should be sufficient for me to have a long enough bracelet to go around. Yep, that's right. And you know what? This bracelet is going to end up being a little bit longer because of what we're going to do with the wire. So I might not need all these beads, but I'm going to leave them there. And then as we do the bracelet, then we're going to keep checking them. For now, at the end, so these beads don't fall out, we're going to do a bend right here. And you can grab your wire pliers and just bend it. Give yourself a little bit of space here because those beads need to move a little bit while we wrap it. So just put an L there so these don't go anywhere, okay? Okay, so the next step that we're going to do, and you can do this before we do this part and we put the beads in there, or after, it doesn't really matter to me. I can just put it in and that's it. And we're going to grab the 20 gauge wire, okay, and we're going to do a small, tangled up in here. We're going to create a small kind of bent loop here. And the reason I'm doing that is because I have to put this in here. I got to hold these beads. I got to put this right in here, okay? And then I'm going to do I'm going to, again, wrap this around. It doesn't matter where it falls because you're going to push it up, okay? So grab your flat nose pliers. Okay, grab your wire. That's why I leave it there so we can have something to hold on to. And then this is going to go around your current wire right here. Okay, so just put it around. And again, I do 2 or 3 times, and this may move a little bit because at the beginning it's kind of hard to do it. But you can do it. So here we go, another loop. And we're going to do a last loop right there. Okay? That's 3. Okay? I started in one place and then did it. And then now I'm going to cut this again so nobody gets hurt. And then we're going to tuck that little tail back in there. Okay. There we go. That's just tucked in there. And then I want to push this up. All the way up there. Okay. So that's wrapped in there. And I'm going to grab my wire, and this is where I'm going to start going around my beads, okay? So let me show you how that's done. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to push everything up here. Okay, let's push that up, 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 right in there. Okay, and I feel like I left this little bit untucked there. See that? So let me grab my flat nose pliers and let me squish that in there really good, because I don't want it to be out like that. Okay, there you go. Okay, so here comes the fun part. So what we do is, now that we have it all in here, we're going to push it up. Okay, and this helps us being as a lever. And I'm going to push my first bead in there and hold the bead in place, because this is going to be wrapped around that bead. Okay, so this will be the front of my bracelet. And then you're going to go under the bead. So that's why you have to hold this in place under the bead. And then you're going to wrap it one time. And you're going to go back again a second time, pushing this in there. Okay. And when you get to that point, then you're going to start wrapping your second bead. Okay. There you go. I'm going to show you from this end because it's kind of hard to see from that end. So let me bend this around. Okay, so you see the wrap right there? Okay, and we're going to go around, pushing it up, around, and when I get down to this point down here, I'm going to push my next bead, and then I'm going to enclose that in there. I'm going to try to turn it this way so you can see. So I'm going to have to hold this with my thumb right here, and then I'm going to wrap it around so it doesn't move one time. And when I get to my second one right here, that's what I'm going to do. So there's your bent, okay? So you're going to hold it, put your next bead, hold it with this other finger, come around, and this is how you're going to wrap everything together, okay? Do one and a second one all the way till you come down to this side, and then you're going to grab your next bead, okay, hold it in place and go around, okay, and around. Second time you're going to push that bead in there because that's what you're going to do, and then we're going to hold this in place, and we're going to do another bend in there, and that's what you're going to keep doing over and over and over again. It's the same thing. Okay, I hold my bead in place, okay, and I'm going to wrap it around, okay, wrap it around, and I come back again, hold it in place, wrap it around, okay. So this is what you're going to do throughout the entire bracelet. Now this is how pretty this looks. Okay, I'm going to try to straighten it out so I can show you. This will be the front of your bracelet, and this will be the back of your bracelet. See, it doesn't have no twistings, no anything, because when you're going to put it on, it's going to be bent this way, and then this is what's going to be showing. Okay, so I'll meet you back over here once we've wrapped everything. See you in a moment. Okay, now that I have done the wrapped all the way around my beads how I want it, I noticed I had put, remember, these 3 extra beads in here, but when I go around my bracelet, I notice I don't need it, because when I'm done with this, I'm going to have an extended here closure. So I'm going to take these 3 out. I'm going to leave it the way it was. Okay, and I'm just going to use this last part. So I'm just going to wrap it over here. Okay, 1, 2. And the beauty of this is 3 times. The beauty of this is I don't have enough wire here, but if I did, I would go back around and do a second row. And I can try to do it. It's just not, I'm not sure I'm going to end up with enough wire to do that. And I don't want to be shortened on the wire. I can try it just to show you how it would look, but at the end, it's just not going to work for me. But let's do it so you can see. So from here, I would have just turned back around, okay? And then I would go back to this end and then start wrapping from the other end. So what's going to happen is that it's going to create a crisscross right here. Let me show you how this would look, at least for the first 2 ones. So you can see how pretty this could have been. Okay, and then you cross it because that it secures the bead in place. That's what you need to do, okay? And again, I don't have enough wire. I can try it, but let's do this. 1, 2. Let's go at it again. 1, 2. And here we go again. 1, and I'm pulling this wire as hard as I can, because I know I don't have enough, but here we go. 1, 2. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2. 1, 2. Let's do this. 1, 2. I may just have enough. 1, 2. And my last one. 1, 2. Oh, I might just have just enough. And then here, remember, wrap it. 1, 2, and 3. Oh my goodness, I had enough. You see, you never know until you try. I think that turned out to be so pretty. Okay, let's cut it since I have it already over there. I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough, but I did. So I got to come back over here and just cramp it in place so it doesn't hurt anybody, okay? Okay, let's see how I can straighten this for you so you can see. Well, I think you can see it from there, but it's really, really pretty, that crisscross. See how that goes along? Just crisscrossing those wires. Now for this last part right here, to create that closure, we're going to straighten that wire really quick. Okay, and I'm going to make a bend somewhere along here. I think that's right. Just twist it to where it looks just like that. Okay, and this we're going to clamp together. We're going to make it as together as possible, as best as we can without doing too much damage to the wire. So just get it as close as you can, okay? And this part down here, what you're going to do is you're going to wrap this extra wire that you have down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to hold it with this plier right here. Okay. And I'm going to start twisting this around the wire. So I'm going to grab it with this hand. Let me see if I can do it with my hand first. Just want to show you how this could look. There we go. Okay. Let me get it as close to this as possibly as I can. And then I'm going to start wrapping this around. Okay. Just wrap it until it meets the other wire that you have there. And we're going to fix this later on. I'm trying to see if I can do it without, you know, breaking the other wire, although I don't think so because that gauge is pretty big. So you see how that closed that gap right in there? And then I'm going to cut that wire. Just cut it right there. And then you're going to tuck that in, remember. So let's tuck that in there so it doesn't bother anybody. Okay, there you go. Now let's look at your wire. It looks cattywampus here a little bit, but we're just going to try to straighten them out, okay, as best as we can. So they look together like that. I don't want to squish it too much with that plier, but I can do it with this one, okay. Make sure that gap in there is as close as you can get it. This is like the hardest part, but that's what's going to make this stronger, okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, so you have that as close as you could get it, okay. And now that you have that as close as you can get it, you see how that's flat? It's going to make this wire stronger. We're going to bend it because we're going to create a hook there. So you grab your round nose pliers, okay, and you're going to create a little hook right there. See that? And you can flatten this out a little bit better right here if you want to. It's really up to you. This hook doesn't have to come all the way down. It could be up. It doesn't matter. As long as you create your hook. Okay? There we go. And then we're going to look. This was the outside of the bracelet. We're going to start bending it. Okay? And then this is going to be the closure of our bracelet. And that's how it's going to look. Okay? That is going to be such a pretty colorful bracelet. Okay? And it's onto the inside. See that? That way it doesn't bother your clothes or gets hooked on anything. So let's put it on. This goes right in here. And that is not coming off. Oh, look how pretty that turned out to be. You see how pretty that bracelet was? I know it gets, you need a little bit of time to get used to creating the crossing of the wire, but the same way you did one way, you can do the other way. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see if I can find a little, let me put this here so you can see the bracelet itself. See how pretty that looks? I love that. That's so pretty. That turned out to be a very pretty, comfortable bracelet. You can take it off, put it on very easily. You can crimp this a little bit more just to close it better there, but that's not going to come off because it's making some pressure this way. Okay? Okay, you guys, I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you stay safe at home. And until next time, God bless.